gone. That was so annoying. But, yeah, hey, what's good? I'm gonna record a video and you can't stop me. I don't know, man, I'm just tired. I don't know what I'm doing. But anyways, let's get to the recording. Okay, so Deku is going to his... What was Deku doing at the end? I think he was... Oh, we get to the internships of this Stain arc. So now Deku's, well, from his house, he's talking to his mom about his day. He's still like a pretty young kid. And he gets a note from his teacher telling him that class is going to start sooner now because there's something you need to do. Then the mom tells him what's going on. Inko tells him what's going on, asks what's going on. Deku says that he got a note from his teacher telling him that there was something really important happening. It's probably something that's going to take a while for me to come back, alright? He says, alright, stay safe. And she gives Johnny a hug. Who is Johnny? When the fuck did I say Johnny? Who the fuck is Johnny? Gives Deku a hug. Deku now goes to... Deku goes... Oh, well... Yeah, he just picks his stuff up, his hero costume, and goes. And Aizawa just tells him to pick pulls out a stick, tells him to pick their hero license, and he's gonna go to that now. A hero to train with for the week. And Deku's got a lot of requests because he won as a quirkless person. That's a pretty big feat, honestly. Then Deku goes to this other guy named... Oh, how about... forgot his name, but it's like... It's the tree guy. I don't know his name. He's a side character. He's not important. But the tree guy that... yeah, just a tree guy. It's a tree guy. And, well, they're just straight about... The tree guy tries telling Deku that even with a quirk as dainty as his, and then he explains, then he says, even as weak as a quirkless person, you still won, and I see a lot of myself in you because my quirk wasn't really the strongest against fire, or water, or a sharp object. I've read the bad part. And, well, then they get information from Hosu, and so they obviously go over there. Deku finds multiple Nomus, and Deku's a bit concerned, to say the least, because the first one he fought broke half his ribs. It took a while for those to heal. Deku then just wants to runs towards one with a grenade, shoving it down his throat, and running away, and then explodes. Then he just does this to multiple until they're all done for. Then Deku hears the faintest scream, and I mean that by the faintest scream. Then Deku just runs off. He needs no permission from any hero to go save a person. So Deku runs and runs and runs. Then he stops, grabs a trash lid, freaking ricochets it off walls, and then smacks Stain in the jaw. Then he grabs another trash lid and just keeps throwing multiple trash lids at Stain. Eventually, Stain cuts one, and then throws a knife at Deku. Deku grabs it, throws it right back into Stain's leg. Then Stain tears it out without no difficulty, stabbing his blade into the wall. He's like a spider. He's like holding on like Spider-Man. Ida then yells at him to go away, because you can't do anything quirkless, person. You just die, because it is a bit salty. But I'm getting wrecked by Deku. But Deku doesn't care, stomps on his face to shut him up, and then he says, I don't give two fucks about you to quirk or not, I'm saving your ass. And then Deku runs towards Stain. Stain jumps from the building with his, big knife. Tries to cut at Deku, but Deku used one of the trash lids to block it a bit, and, well, cut a bit into his arm, but, he ate that. But before Stain could, lick his blade, Deku immediately grabs the blade, putting more blood onto it, but he actually yoinks the blade out of Stain's hand, popping him in the jaw at the same time, then throwing the blade. And then he just throws the blade away as far as possible so Stain can't get it. There's only blood on Deku's hand, and Deku immediately wraps it up, healing it, but bandaging it so no blood can leak out. And he's already healed up, clean up all the blood everywhere. He's very fast with this kind of stuff. And then Deku pulls out a flash grenade. Well, actually, no, not yet. He thinks to pull out a flash grenade, but then thinks he can do something smart with a flash grenade. So then Stain pulls out one of his other swords. It's not as big as the other one, but it works. So then Deku throws, all the trash lids that are on the ground, starts ricocheting them all over the place. Stain then starts cutting some of them, but still getting hit by a lot of them. Deku picks up a trash bag. Stain cuts it immediately, which gets trash everywhere. Deku hits him in a rib cage, throwing him against a dumpster. And then Deku kicks him into that dumpster, like he breaks the trash with Stain's body. Broke the garbage can with his foot, and then Deku runs away, or so he thinks. But he actually went for Ida, taking off one of his boots and then chucking it at Stain, which just pops him in the face. Then Deku uses Ida as a weapon, just throws him right at Stain. Stain was about to cut through him, but actually was a distraction for a trap he laid, where Stain was about to cut Ida, but he actually tripped, missing Ida entirely, and stabbing himself in the arm. And the blade goes deeper in because he falls right onto the hilt. And then Stain yells out that, stop playing tricks, you dirty fake hero. And then Stain mask falls off and he takes out the blade with, for some reason, him having nose. Where's the... I'm so confused where you got the nose. And then Deku started slashing towards... Deku throws then Stan throws all of his kunais at Deku, but Deku uses a trash lid to stab all of them in. Then he runs towards Stain with his red cape flowing through the wind. And then Stain gets freaking trapped by the cape. And he pulls it off, only to see that he pulled a pin to a flash grenade, and the flash grenade was inside Deku's cape. So as soon as he took it off, the pin, on a strap, and then Deku just punches the flash grenade into Stain's face, throwing him against a wall, and then the flash grenade goes off, burning Deku's hand and breaking it a bit, and having shrapnel stuck in it. But he doesn't give a Stain's out of cold. That was a point-blank explosion to the face, and it burns your eyelids, so burns your entire pupil, so Stain's out. He's now blind. Deku can tell because the guy's pupils are dilated so small that he can't even see the pupils anymore, and Stain's bleeding out of his eyes. By the way, all the explosion went into Deku's face, nowhere near Stain's face. All the flash went into Deku. All the flash part went into Stain, and all the explosion went into Deku. Then Deku starts slowly taking out shrapnel from himself. Then he heals. Then he straps his arm, saying, "Damn, that fucking hurt." And then Deku picks up. Damn, that's a really short video. But then Stain. Well, then Deku chains up Stain with a whole lot of ropes and chains and even locks. And then he just pulls Stain, and then Ida finally gets up, retrieves his boot, and puts it back on. Then he tries to go for Stain, but Deku immediately spins on Ida and then chops him on the neck, knocking Ida out. And then he does the exact same with Ida, chaining him up with different sources and locks. So then he just drags both of them by their feet. Native is dead, by the way. If you weren't noticing, yeah, he's dead. And Deku just keeps walking down the alley until, yep, the bird Nomu shows up and picks Deku up and then just goes flying off. He starts having to beat up the Nomu because he's run out of bombs. All he has is his fist right now, well, and his brass knuckles. Starts beating. Well, obviously he puts on the brass knuckles first. Then starts strangling the Nomu with Deku's own cape, and starts bashing in the Nomu's brain. And since this Nomu can't regenerate, it's taking a toll on him. And then Deku has to freaking yoink it towards the direction it grabbed him from. And then he just immediately just crashes into a building. But Deku then looks beside him, seeing a metal pipe through the Nomu's supposed heart, and it being dead. And Deku just then looks to his arm, seeing it decapitated from his own body. And Deku's like, what? And then Deku screams out in agony, not knowing how he lost his arm. But we know how it came off with a bit of camera movement, showing that a piece of shrapnel flew through the air and cut Deku's arm off when he was falling through while the Nomu was getting impaled at the same time. And then Deku sees the Nomu's arm being suspiciously the same size of his arm. And then Deku just cuts off the Nomu's arm and attaches it to himself. And weirdly, the Nomu's anatomy just fuses to Deku, and now Deku has a Nomu arm. It's all clawed up, but don't worry, since it's one of those that don't regenerate, Deku could still lose this arm. Unless he retrieved it and put it back on him. Or if it was incinerated, he couldn't put it back on, of course. Alright, and Deku, well, has a normal arm comes from the building, grabbing onto the building and just crashing down. And then he finds the two Stain and Ida being awake, wrestling with each other's heads, not biting each other, of course. And then Deku just knocks both of them out again. With Ida, he uses his boot, and with Stain, he just punches him in the face with his normal arm, and just knocks him out. And Deku grabs both their chains with his normal arm and just walks, showing how strong the normal arm is, by the way. And then he just walks to, the woods, Kamio Woods, Kamino Woods, Kabuto Woods. That guy, Kabuto Woods. And then with Endeavor and all the other heroes that were there, with Mirio and Gran Torino speaking in the corner. Deku not going. And then Deku says that he lost an arm, and then he points towards the direction of a building, saying that my arm is going to be in that building, by the way. And then they say, so how'd you lose it? I punched the crap out of a Nomu until it died. And also when it was impaled. And then I lost my arm by shrapnel. Okay. Alright, now Deku goes to key. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, Deku just leaves. He just leaves to go home now. By the way, they were doing like side missions and stuff in both the week. But I didn't want to go over that because it's boring. But now we go to the hero license arc. So the beginning is Deku and everyone in the hall. Then, by the way, he's worked a high tolerance with his own arm now. It's like it is his arm now. It is his arm. Like it's even like changing colors to become his arm again. But the only way to tell the difference is it's paler than his original arm. And by the way, it's not changing. It's still pale. It's not going to change because it's a part of a human dead corpse, so it's just going to be white forever, which kind of not like tan like Deku is, but no, he's just white. But anyways, well then the team start and he gets Tetsu. I swear to God, if any of this is getting into my video, I'd get really mad. Hey, sorry. I'm gonna take it and do something about that. But yeah, they really have to work together. And 1 second. You are making way too loud. Sorry. Now Deku goes to. Well, he shakes and then puts his hand. Shinso and him dab each other up and are hyped to work together. And now Deku is done. Well, not done. But he gets paired against the shadow guy, the guy that spits clones on himself. And now Deku is... I think Deku's done with doing... Well, no. So, the battle begins with 2 shadow creatures trying to get Deku, but Deku just one-taps them with his normal arm. And then here he's just completely clearing all the clones that were in front of him. Tetsu, of course, helping as well. But they're really just clearing it. And eventually Deku finds his clearing where he just used one of his bombs. And then just completely blows up a horde of them. Remember, Deku has like 3 of those, so he's good. And so eventually the big shadow creature shows up to start clapping up. But sadly, Deku throws Tetsu with three grenades into the big boy creature, and then Tetsu pulls all the pins in the creature. Remember, it's just goop, and then the thing just explodes, and then Tetsu flies straight for the goop maker. The goop guy makes a one in front of him, but the goop guy gets punched straight through, right to the guy who makes the goop. Clean out. He's out. But he's not cuffed yet, so Deku takes care of that by throwing himself, then running across the building, scaling crushing through a pipe, and then tying up the gloop maker, and then they win. And everything else goes according to plan. Deku gets his hero license, and his name is, I forgot to call himself. He's called the Deku calls himself uh, uh, oh, he's probably from the quirkless wonder, not wonder, but the quirkless, yeah, well, it's not his permanent name, but he's gonna call himself Quirkless Wonder for now. He'll definitely change his name later. Not in this, well, we'll never hear it, but he'll change it. But now the story continues with Deku fighting, I don't know, beating the crap out of a punching bag. And then he turns around to see Bakugo saying he wants to go a few rounds, and with just palms. And then Deku has to pop off his Nomu arm, saying this would probably be a fair fight. And then he stabs the Nomu arm into a nail. Then Deku climbs up into the ring, puts a boxing glove on with one hand, and then they start swinging. And then Bakugo swings, but Deku just weaves jab in the gut. And Baku tries swinging at Deku again. Deku just keeps weave, popping Baku with his one hand. He only has one hand. It's kind of unfair, you would think, but Deku, nah, he changing the whole. You have a disability? Nah. What does that do? Nothing. All about that determination, bruv. In a way, Deku is already disabled in this universe because he doesn't have a quirk, but him having no arm now makes him even more of a person without a quirk. Even more oddity. A human with no arm or quirk, but he's still popping up a guy who has a freaking high tier quirk in a boxing match. But still, he could do it with one hand, still. And eventually, Deku gets that final punch on Bakugo, throwing him into the strap. And then Bakugo says, "How? Hmm? That's Deku speaking. How are you this strong? It's all about the determination, Bakugo. Just keep. I'm not good at these, you know the Bakugo. I'm not good at one of these. But work hard, and you'll get there." And then Deku side-eyes Bakugo, seeing him tearing up, but Deku does not want to be in the room while this happens, because he knows Bakugo does not like when people see him cry, so he just leaves, sighing, saying, "Good luck, Bakugo. See you soon." And then Deku just leaves. Then Deku just leaves. And Bako then cries in the boxing match with Deku hearing it. Don't forget well, also he grabbed his arm. He didn't forget about that. And he feels a bit sorry for Bako because he crushed his entire spirits just by existing, but he's not going to let that stop him from not becoming a hero. That's not going to stop Bako from becoming a hero. And then Deku leaves. Okay. Bye-bye. Well, not now. Obviously, I need to tell you to like, subscribe, hit the post notification bell. Liking helps with the algorithm. Trust me, I know this kind of thing. A whole bunch of YouTubers have said it. Subscribing gives you more motivation to post more, and we'll post more daily. And hitting the post notification bell gets you notified every time I post one of these. And these are pretty nice. I'm not going to kizzy cap. That was so dumb. Please forgive me. But anyways, goodbye. I really wish I get a better intro than that.